All right, we got Kanyon's been on hold for a long time. Kanyon's moving towards agnosticism due to personal experiences. How you doing, Kanyon? You're on with Shane and Matt.
Hey, Matt. Hey, Shane. Long-time fan.
Thanks. What?
Yeah.
How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, so I'm conflicted, and I have been for a really long time, and I've always wanted to call in and discuss it, but I'm on furlough finally, and I finally have a Sunday off and can. So thanks for taking the call. I was raised secular, so I've been atheist basically, most of my life, or all of it really, but there's been through many years, unexplainable things that have happened that make me question my atheism and don't know how to kind of balance that out in my brain, because personal experience that have been witnessed by others, and this is kind of where Charles was like, hey, you can't see it with your eyes, or I can't show you the skin knee. Yeah, you kind of can when things have happened. They've happened in front of others. They've happened and have been witnessed by others. And they can't explain it. I can't explain it. And
Right. So a lack of an explanation for something isn't really an argument for a God. It's an argument for a lack of an explanation of something. There have been plenty of things that I've experienced that I don't know the cause of, but you can't make the jump from, okay, I don't know what did that, therefore it was probably a God. And it sounds like that's sort of like where you're going with it.
Sort of, Shane, but not really. I'm not throwing God out there as the solution. For all I know, it's aliens fucking with us. It's
could be ghosts, could be anything, but we don't have any reason to think that it is.
What, I'm sorry?
What I'm saying is, I agree with you. Like, yeah, it could be ghosts, it could be aliens fucking with us, it could be anything, but we don't have any reason to think that it is that. So when something happens and you can't explain it, it might get you thinking, and you try to come up with an explanation, and sometimes you can't, but sometimes the only intellectually honest answer is, I don't know.
Yeah, that's
what I'm saying.
Okay.
Right. So it sounds like we're on the same boat here. I don't know.
Well, here's where I'm going with this.
Okay.
And this is, I think, where my version of agnosticism kind of steps in, is that it is the I don't know, but it's something. And I'm struggling because
that's my problem.
Whoops, I'm sorry, but what?
I don't know how you can say I don't know, but it's something. What do you mean by something?
Well, that's what I mean. This is where I'm conflicted. When I'm having these experiences, and I've had them not consistent enough, convenient enough, not consistent enough to go, hey, watch this, but consistent enough for me to go, what the hell? And it's there's many of them, and if you want me to explain some, I can, that have been witnessed by many or by others, and I don't know.
You can. I'm open to it, but it does sound like you're still doing what we described earlier, which you kind of agreed with me on, which is you're saying, I don't know, and you're saying you're not throwing God out there, but you're saying it's something. And I'm glad that Matt asked you, well, what is something? Because there can be events that you don't understand, but like for most of my life, I have not been a skeptic. And my sister and I both believe, and my sister still does to this day, that one of the houses we grew up in was haunted. Now, there are plenty of experiences that actually happened in that house I cannot come up with an explanation for, but I don't think that my lack of an understanding for why those things happened suggests that, okay, well, it was something supernatural. It could have been a ghost. Like, it doesn't support that. It just supports that I don't know what it was.
Know. That's amazing. Yeah, and you're saying that, Shane. That's exactly what I'm talking about, because one of the things that threw me completely off the edge was a experience like that we'll call it a ghost, but again, I don't know what it is, but I had an experience that was witnessed. I'm sorry?
Can you describe the experience?
I absolutely can describe the experience, yeah. Me and a friend, we live in Arizona. not far from us is a ghost town, an old miners town called Bisbee. There's a hotel, lots of hotels there, but very old ones, and they, kind of play up the haunted hotel stuff, and whatever. And so it's 2 hours from us. So we decided, let's go have a fun haunted overnight thing, at this haunted hotel. And they had talked about on the website, the ghosts that supposedly live there. And one of them is a little boy that likes to play tricks and things. And they said, bring toys. And he also likes bling, maybe bring some sort of bling, something shiny. And,
The 666 necklace, he might have liked that.
Right,
Sorry.
So anyway, we rented a room in this hotel. It was almost vacant. It was me and my friend in one room, and I think another married couple on the same floor, the third floor of this building. And we had the entire hotel really to ourselves. It was almost empty. And around 1:30 in the morning, we're wandering the hall outside of our room, and we just put some items on the floor in the middle of this dark hallway. We couldn't see anything really very well, but they just said, put these things down, see if anything happens, call out to this person and see what happens, and bring a camera. And we did. And we sat in this dark hallway, and hey, Billy, come get this. This is for you, kind of stuff. And we started taking pictures as we're talking, okay? And it's kind of shuddering through. It only took maybe, 4 minutes or something, 5 minutes, and then we just kind of picked up the items and went to bed or whatever. The next day at breakfast, we decided to look at the pictures, and one of the items in the picture was hovering off the floor. It was a ring.
Where's the picture?
And we looked at it. There was multiple pictures of this, and we're like, how did that happen?
Where's the picture?
I have it. I have it on the only thing with the problem with the picture, and this is, people will say, oh, you altered it or you did something. We have the pictures. We were like mind boggled. We couldn't figure out how this happened.
I'm willing to grant that you didn't, because I don't think you're being dishonest. I think that what you're telling me is something that you actually believe. But the fact that you were in a haunted hotel where people actually go there to experience haunted experiences. Like, the hotel is selling this idea that ghost experiences happens here. It makes it a little bit plausible to me that someone would be, fucking with you a little bit if you're going to stay in a hotel that advertises that they're doing this.
And it's worse than that, because you're doing an investigation in the dark. And by your own telling of the story, you didn't notice anything there in real time with the items that were there. It's only in the picture that you looked at the next day that something looks weird.
Well, the reason why, for one, it was 1 a.m. We picked the items. We placed the items where we chose to pick them. Because trust me, that's the first thing that I ran through my mind. Are there fucking magnets in the walls? Did they, is there somebody with, how in the world? How, and I'm trying to figure it out.
No, the point is, when you looked at the ring in person, you didn't see anything. It's only in the picture that you see something.
No, I couldn't see it. It was dark. We couldn't see anything. It was like in almost, not blackness, but, very, very, we put it probably 10 feet in front of us, sat about 10 feet back or so, and it was dark. There was no lights. It was a dark hallway with no lights. It's an old hotel from like 1800s. They don't have like lit up hallways and things. We were really in like very dark experience. So the only way we would have seen it is during the flash of the camera. We didn't see that.
Copper Queen?
Say it again.
Copper Queen, is that the name of the hotel?
That's it. Yes, the Copper Queen.
Yeah,
we were on the 3rd floor.
Yeah, did you bother to go?
I don't know how to explain it. And so it just threw me off my game because I'm a skeptic. I wasn't scared going in there. I'm thinking,
My problem is we're going back to, I don't know how to explain it. And that's...
Exactly.
Okay. But that's like the final statement is, I don't have the explanation for it. And it seems like you're acknowledging that you can't go from, I don't know, therefore this, but then you're kind of still doing that.
No. I'm not saying this is what it is. I'm saying that there's something. And
what do you mean by there's something? What is something?
this doesn't happen in the natural world. This doesn't happen.
Okay, so
in
you
science.
are arguing for
of-
something supernatural based off a lack of an explanation. You're making that argument from ignorance. And since you agree with what that
am.
argument is, I'm trying to point out to you that you are in fact making it. You are making the leap from I don't know, therefore this.
Okay. I'm
You're
not quite sure where to go from that.
You just flat out said this doesn't happen in the natural world. How, you don't even know what happened, let alone how it happened, and yet you've reached the conclusion that this doesn't happen in the natural world. You don't even know what you're looking at and have reached a conclusion that this couldn't happen in the natural world. That's not skepticism.
Right. I don't see how you would be able.
True.
Yep. There's a different way to investigate stuff. But, you know, I can't tell you what's going on.
I don't know how to move forward from that either, because you're right. I don't have an answer for what happened.
That's it. No, stop. That's the end. I do not have an explanation. Done, period, stop, full stop. There's nothing that comes after that.
But what about other experiences that I've had? I mean, I don't know.
You don't have explanations for them either. It's the same thing.
And in the same thing, if you don't have explanations, then that's the end.
It's the same thing with any story that you give me where you can't explain something. That's it. You can't explain it. Done deal.
Yeah. So you just kind of stop there, I guess, and say.
What else could you do?
I don't know what you say. But when
if there's more information available, then look at that information and investigate. But when you have already investigated with all of the available information, and what you've concluded is that you don't have enough information to reach a conclusion, that becomes the conclusion, is that you don't have enough evidence to reach a conclusion about what it was.
And until that changes, until there's some new path of investigation or some new evidence, then you're stuck.
Yeah, it's a stuck feeling. It really is a stuck feeling, because I was very confident in my, hey, this is what we are, and this is where, I mean, and to have these experiences, and there's more than one, that was just one, but these experiences that make me feel, I don't have an answer for what they are, but they are different than what I am comfortable in reality,
What is it? What is it about? What about an experience? But you're saying you've had multiple experiences. What about an experience makes it suddenly become this can't happen in reality? What makes it become this isn't something that happens in the natural world? Like, what is it that makes you think that? Because it sounds like what you do is let's say it's something drastic, like you're sitting in a room and a chair just flips over, something crazy like that. If you were to see that, I think what you would say is, I don't know, that doesn't happen in the natural world. How do you know that?
Well, that's true, but a chair flipping over wouldn't freak me out like this thing did. But because it was
wait. You're sitting in a room and a chair flipping over would not impact you as much as a photograph that you took in the dark kind of looks like a ring is floating.
No, it's definitely off the floor. But a chair, I would pick up the chair and go, did the dog hit it?
No. I'm saying nothing hit. Like if you were looking at a chair and saw nothing around it and it just flipped over, that's a lot scarier to me than, this ring hovered for a second. Any ghost that's knocking chairs over is clearly a more destructive ghost than one that just fucks with you by picking a ring up.
See, you just labeled it a ghost. I don't know what things are, and it's not fear that I'm talking about. It's the unknown that I don't have answers for that make me question.
You sound like somebody who wants to believe in the supernatural, and anytime you have this opportunity of, I don't have an answer, you use that as an opportunity for therefore it might have been something supernatural. And what I'm saying is, again, you can't go from I don't know to therefore supernatural.
Yeah, I desperately want to be a skeptic. And I've always felt I have been, but there's just multitude of things that have happened to me that make me uncomfortable.
As somebody who used to not be a skeptic, I can tell you, when I wasn't a skeptic, ghost stories happened a lot more. There's this weird thing where ghosts, they tend to just avoid us skeptics. They just leave us alone. Actually, they seem to leave whenever we go somewhere, because I've gone to haunted houses.
I was a skeptic. When I went to that
Well,
hotel,
it doesn't sound like it. You're saying that?
Mind, please let me talk. I'm losing my mind. Please let me talk. I'm a skeptic. I can have exactly the same experience you do. There's nothing. Why would anybody say I was a skeptic, but I'm not now? Doesn't make any sense. Why would somebody say I want to be a skeptic, but there's just too much stuff? Skepticism is not about, oh, what do you mean there's too much stuff? If there's sufficient evidence to warrant belief, then skepticism holds that you should accept it. And if there's not sufficient evidence to warrant a belief, skepticism holds that you should reject it until that changes. There are no circumstances under which anybody should ever want to be a skeptic and fail because there's evidence. Because skepticism isn't about saying there are no fucking ghosts. Skepticism is about saying there's insufficient evidence to conclude that there's ghosts yet. It's about constantly trying to prove things true. It is not about debunking. So why would anybody say, I really wish I was a skeptic, but there's just too much evidence? If there's too much evidence and you're a skeptic, you then believe.
That's true. Sorry, it was probably a terminology slip. You're right.
Yeah, I think, yeah. So skepticism, for example, like a better way of putting this in picture. So Matt and I are both people who accept the theory of evolution. That doesn't mean that we're not skeptics about evolution. It's just that our skepticism has been like fulfilled. Like our needs for our questions have been answered. We have the answers. We have the explanations. We have the evidence. So it's not to say like, oh, you're not a skeptic about evolution. I am. It's just that when I question it, I get answers. So I go with the answers.
Yeah.
But as to my skepticism about supernatural, it's completely different because I don't have any answers. I don't have any explanations. There isn't anything verifiable. So skepticism isn't like the assertion that something's false. It's just like questioning it, walking into it with, I don't know, let's find out.
You could just view it as co-equal to science. It's like, I'd really like to use science here, but there's just too much evidence.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I've had other experiences that aren't ghostly, you know, but I don't know. You guys probably have a million calls backed up, but
you should potentially call Truth Wanted, which is on Friday nights. Because
Dan would have
kind of stories that Dan might like to dig in on.
He would.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for taking the call. And I mean, I'd like to say I feel better and a little bit more confident in but I don't. I'm still not sure what I'm doing.
No, that's good. You should feel less confident in a belief that you can't support. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I've felt that way all along, but I just it keeps stockpiling on me of things that keep happening that I can't. So, I mean, by all means, there's no way I'm diving into the God thing because that's just saying, putting a label on it. And it's not, I can't do that. So I don't know where to put the label. I don't know where my emotions should be lying in this.
Then you wait. Is something requiring you to put a label on it right now?
Yeah. Other than my comfortableness on this planet, you know, is to find an answer to what is happening or what these things mean, you know, and not just that.
Yeah, but it just seems like you have a really hard time accepting it when you don't have an answer.
Nothing is required. No, the actual honest true answer is that nothing is requiring you to say this is what this experience was, except for your impatience. That's it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it is because it would be great to have something. What was that?
I said work on some patience, which is ironic coming from me today, as today is the day that is absolutely unapologetically released the planet.
I really appreciate you not telling me to fuck off and hang up on me, and congrats on quitting nicotine. I did that like 10 years ago, and it is a rough thing to do. So way to go, and it's definitely possible. So keep going.
I've done it before, but I got one more call I want to get to. Thanks, Kanyon, and by all means, reach out to Truth Wanted as well. I was going to take 3 more, but we spent a lot of time. I get it. It's incredibly frustrating. oh, I don't have an answer for this, but it seems like there should be one, and it seems like
Yeah,
there is, and it's really
it seems like there's just this huge problem of her being unfulfilled with a lack of an answer and just saying like, I'm unfulfilled by a lack of an answer.
yeah.
Therefore, there must be an answer that's accessible to me. And sometimes the honest answer is you are left unfulfilled. There isn't an answer. You're not going to know what caused that coin to hover if that actually happened.
The thing is, I've caused coins to hover in front of people. I can think of many different ways that it might happen. What I don't understand is, I mean, granted, I haven't seen the picture, but you
I
know,
haven't either, but I know that you're a magician and you could probably do a few tricks that I couldn't explain, but I'm not going to go, oh, I can't explain it. Therefore, Matt actually does magic.
yeah. But the interesting thing here is that this is a known hotel. Okay.
Right.
They're selling the ghost experience.
That was my first thought is, oh, you went to a hotel that markets the idea of you will have a ghost experience here.
If I owned that hotel,
I have a motive to give you a ghost experience.
Exactly.
And the fact that motive is there makes me really suspicious over there's actually ghosts there.
And it's one of the reasons why there's a part of me as a magician, as an entertainer, as a skeptic, as somebody who's interested in potentially demonstration of the paranormal, the running a ghost hotel would be awesome and fun, except I can't ever do it because there's too many people who buy into this shit. And if I'm contributing to people failing to understand skepticism, failing to understand evidence, and actually providing a footing that is counter to reason, then I'm contributing to a worsening of the world, which is why I couldn't ever do that.
Right. Which is the opposite of what you're doing with the magic thing, because I think that the magic and skepticism thing, and I haven't seen your shows where you do it, but it makes sense to make the point to somebody like that can help somebody see that, yes, you can see something and it's not actually real.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, if I were to do the ghost hotel type of thing, you're right. It's awesome if you do it to demonstrate this is how much I can make it look like you're experiencing a ghost.
You don't even have to explain. You could straight up say, look, I'm gonna give you an experience. I'm not gonna tell you how I did it. I can just assure you that everything you're gonna see is natural, and it's a magic trick.
Right.
It's like me pulling off part of my finger like that. If I know more than you do about something, I can make anything look like a miracle. Let me show you this. And then, if you run up against somebody who just is it has to be supernatural, it has to be supernatural, it has to be supernatural. That's what I want. Because unlike some of my magician friends, I don't buy into this, oh, you're exposing. No. If I've done a magic trick, this happened to me in Australia, where this guy was talking about these magicians who were on TV and they do this and they do that. And I'm like, yeah, I can't tell you how they do everything. I may not even know how they do everything. But there's no reason to think that there's anything supernatural. And he goes, well, like, what about if they levitate? And I was like, you mean like this? And I walked a couple feet away from him and I levitated a little bit and came back down. And his face, I mean, he looked like it was one of the best reactions to any magic trick I ever got.
Right.
And then I said, okay. And I moved him to a different position and did the same thing again so that he could see it. And he was crestfallen. It's like this entire world had been pulled out from underneath him. And I was like, remember how you felt when you first saw me do it and how you feel now. Because the truth is, the only thing that's different is there was something about reality that you didn't understand, and now you do. So you are better off now. You learned something, you know more. And just keep that in mind the next time somebody comes along and tells you they can do something that's supernatural. The truth is, they can do something that appears to be beyond the bounds of the natural, but is that really what's happening?